Hello and welcome. I'm Wesley. This is Warrior Cycles. Today I have a very special treat for you. Please excuse the garage. It is in a state. It is not my garage. This is my father's garage. However, I needed to get this project started. It's taken way too long to get here, but we are here finally. Let's have a look at the bike. It is pretty badly banged up. Let's take a look. So the subframe's pretty bent. You can see all the kinks. Don't need to say much really. It's gonna need a exhaust system. I really can't tell you how this gentleman crashed this bike to not damage the tank. There's no dents in the tank or anything, but he's damaged every single panel, bent the pegs, a little bit of road rash on the cover, but not much. Some damage there to the radiator, no oil cooler, bolts, obviously not original forks, but most importantly, I need to open the tank, get all the fuel out of it, make sure the fuel pump works, and then proceed to check if this motorcycle can start. So I've just seen something quite concerning. Let me show you. That exhaust is on its port, and so is this one, and the bolts are bent. That's a problem, because this bike's been standing so long. I don't know if anything's gotten in there, but we're going to attempt to start it. I'm going to have to make a MacGyver, because I've got to replace this whole exhaust system from front to back. But I want to first see if I can start the motor, so I'm going to have to cut those pipes or bend them into place or something. Let's see how we proceed. Right, so let's get into opening up this tank, draining the fuel, and checking if the fuel pump works. So as you can see, I've taken the tank off. I did that off camera. Nothing really interesting to watch there, to be honest. The fuel was sour, so I have drained that. I also did that off camera, but let me show you the inside of this tank. This tank looks pretty damn clean. So I'm actually very surprised at the condition of this tank. You can see that fuel level sensor. Look how clean that fuel pump is. You can even see the part numbers on it. This tank looks exceptionally clean, so that's a very good positive. I mean, really, there's no rust, anything inside here. As you can see, that tank looks extremely good condition. That is a new tank. That is not the original tank. Gotten myself ECU, ECM, depending on where you're from. Like I mentioned, this bike I bought about a year ago. I was told by the seller that the bike starts and runs, which I find absolutely impossible, due to the fact that there is no ECU. After I bought this bike online, I went through the pictures of it being picked up and delivered. Scanning through the pictures, I noticed that the ECU wasn't there. That goes into these plugs over here. So that was very disappointing. Also, the bank angle sensor is also damaged, so I've had to short that out. Let me just show you what I've done here. So generally there would be a sensor on this plug that goes in between the headlights. So if the bike falls over, that sensor will tell the computer to basically shut off. And you also have fuel cutoff relays and engine stop relays here as well, all controlled by this little sensor. While it is a very basic sensor, they are quite expensive and difficult to find these days. I do have the original clocks. They are a bit scratched and tabs are missing on the back. So I don't know if I'm going to be using these clocks or if I can get them repaired or something, try and use them. Problem is though, because this ECU does not come off this bike, these are coded to your ignition and key. So I've had to buy this whole kit from eBay. Let's get it plugged in, get a battery hooked up, and see if we get power to the clocks. So ECU connected, battery is connected. Sorry, I know it's a bit of a mess. Everything's connected, and lo and behold, our HSC light is flashing and the clock is on. So let's just get this key in here and let's see if we have life. We have life. Let's move forward. Okay, so I know you are supposed to have your throttle completely open when you're doing a compression test. However, I had to remove the throttle cables in order to make the bike a bit more mobile. We're just going to have to do the compression test without using full throttle. It's just an indication if we have or don't have compression. So I'm happy to go ahead. Yeah, let's do the test. So I have it connected to cylinder number 4. There's my gauge. Ignition is primed. Let's see. Oh, 180. That's pretty decent. 100. Good. Happy with that. Cylinder 4 seems to be good. Let's check cylinder 2. Cylinder number 2. Okay, we're above 150, not as good as cylinder 4. That's good enough. Let's move forward. We have compression tester set to cylinder number 3. Contact. Also hovering around 150. It's okay, but it's not the best. Let's move on to cylinder number 1. Yeah. Contact. Also 150 psi. I'll confirm with the manual, but I'm sure that's a bit on the low side. Engines should still start though. So here we are, the moment of truth, the moment that decides how we move forward with this project, whether it's engine rebuild or just a bike build. Let's hope for the latter. I kind of promised my wife that I'd be able to get this bike running without any major issues, so let's hope that is true. So I've got the spark plugs in, I've got the battery connected. A bit dodgy, just resting here on the footrest at the moment, but it is sort of secure, so it's not going to go anywhere. Fuel tank is hooked up. We've got engine oil. Let's see what happens. Okay, right, turning the bike on. Okay, I don't know if you heard that, but that was the pump priming. Okay, definitely heard something going there. Let's see. Okay guys, let's go for it. Ah, yes! Yes, baby! Just to end this video quickly, I managed to get the bike started, although it was only for like a second. I went, had a cup of coffee, thought about it some more, and I didn't check if it had any fault codes on it. So what I've done is I quickly went through. Next to your fuse box is a little connector. You short this out and it will throw up codes on your, sorry, let me just take those off. It will throw a code on your FI light. Some codes will actually prevent the bike from starting. I think the ECU had a code on it, which I've managed to now clear. So let's see if she'll start again. There's no throttle cables. Throttle cables are over here. So I'm going to manually control them behind underneath the tank. Sorry about that, that was an accident. Now we're going to start it up. Okay, let's swing. Yes, we have a running engine. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked this video. Thanks for watching. bit stubborn. So we're going to use a brass punch, and we're going to give it a good solid whack, because that's all we can do. Ah, there you go. There you go. Okay, there you go. It's coming. And now it's okay. That bracket's in the way.
Now that it's moving, tap it with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's get this. No, it's stuck again. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, there is a bit of corrosion, but it's not too bad. I know how to get it out. Will that work? Yes, it will. Great. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. There you go. Swing arm is out. And we have one dismantled motorcycle. One of the bearings have decided to come with this thing. Okay, got you.
That's all, folks.